Hello and welcome to another episode of That Podcast. My name is Ryan Janke, and as always, I'm joined by Pastor DJ Laura, Dana Mashevsky, and Sarah DeYoung.
Yeah, thank you. That needed a little bit of that. I was ready to start clapping myself.
Holla!
Woo!
Yep.
I want to play like our first couple ones with you now, because it's like, hey everybody, welcome to That Podcast. My name is Ryan Janke.
I bet you on this board we
yes,
still have the
sir.
pre-recorded intro that we could compare.
Yeah, we could.
Okay.
You know what?
Actually, I think we started with Mark. Mark had the first one, didn't he?
No, he had the first outro.
Yeah, I think
We were real highball when we first started.
Oh, yeah. You know what irritates people? It's when I talk like this.
Stop. I'll mute you.
No one needs that.
Nope.
Just if I say anything.
There it is.
Well, all right.
What do you got, DJ?
I brought in my not-so-secret stash.
A brown paper bag.
That was given to me by a friend of all of ours.
Okay.
A friend to us all.
Are we allowed to say this friend's name?
It's from the TOG.
The TOG. I know him.
Yeah,
So,
you know me.
I think
You know with TOG.
he listened to that podcast about us enjoying the Peep Pepsi.
Enjoying is
that's a broad term.
that's a loose use of the word.
Just saying it. You know how like when you eat something super sour, you're like
And you
it
can, like,
puckers
feel
up.
it? Yeah,
Like that happened to
your
my
jaw
cheeks
locks.
just as soon as I said it. It's like, ugh.
I just
So
stare
sweet.
at the bottles.
You know, now that this is all done and over, we still could do this. We should take those bottles
Yeah.
and put them in between the 2x4s over here. And then in like 45
The
years.
2x4s are going to be gone eventually, though.
Well, yeah, but you can put them in there, right? Or is there's going to be something else?
Yeah,
What I was thinking
Don't you think we're
originally-
going to end up with like an infestation of fire ants or
I
something
was
like that?
thinking
if we
more
do
would
that?
eat through the wall.
Not if the bottle. Okay, so we're talking about the Pepsi Peeps, right? We got two bottles
You were
left.
basically wanting to turn the walls into like a time capsule.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that in like 45 years, somebody would be like, "What is this?" And then have some Peeps Pepsi.
Yeah. They're
I
like,
would hope that they
I
would
would
not
think
open
that they
them.
would open it up and go, man, we're in a church. They could have left us Bibles, secrets to the universe.
Yep.
And they
Pepsi.
left us Peeps Pepsi.
Yep.
no. They'll probably look at that and be like, these things were outlawed 20 years ago.
Probably.
They're no
they
longer
caused
allowed in the
blindness.
US.
And
From 2023.
Yeah, are they dated?
they have a date on them?
They do. 2023 limited edition.
That
For a
was,
moment there, I thought you were going to say, yeah, it says 2018.
that was before
expired in
dogs had
08.
wings.
Yeah.
All right,
Anyway,
What do you have for us to try?
I got good stuff from the TOG. I've been wanting to try this ever since you brought him in.
so, all right. Do we have a TOG music?
I don't know if we have a TOG, but we could use a little TOG drum roll. Do we have a drum roll coming in?
I saw the packaging. I'm so excited.
Look at this. For each and every one of us, we get to try a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup Mallow Top.
Oh, good.
Oh.
You're killing me, Smalls. This is what a s'more is all about right here.
S'more what?
I need s'more.
Okay.
How can I have s'more if I haven't had any yet? You're killing me, Smalls. All right, do we do it one at a time and see the reaction, or do we just all dig in and see what happens?
We all dive
Oh
in.
my goodness, what is this?
It's the best candy.
Should we get some ASMR going?
Brian, that doesn't mean we need your eating noises, though.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's,
okay.
That's a different.
Dad noises.
So
What does this remind me of?
I don't know.
I don't know either. It'll come to me eventually.
So how are we doing this, individually or all at once?
Usually you take a bite and then...
Well, Ryan,
there's no wrong way to eat a Reese's.
Mm-mm.
What do you think? It has a nice aroma to it. Like it smells like Reese's, but marshmallow too.
Well, that's an interesting flavor. If somebody gave this to me and I didn't see it,
I'm
I
gonna
just
have to put a disclaimer on this episode. I mean, like anybody who has doesn't like mouth noises, I'm sorry.
No, it's like those videos that people like, where it's like comforting sounds, like a spoon and macaroni and cheese.
This is totally a comforting sound.
Not for me.
So if somebody handed me that and I didn't look at it and just ate it, I'd be like,
If you didn't look at it, I'd be concerned.
there's something wrong with this peanut butter cup. Because it's got it's there's definitely
Like you kept your Reese's a little too close to your cereal in the bag.
yeah. You know what? Cocoa Puffs.
Is that what it tastes like?
It tastes like Cocoa Puffs.
Well, listen.
Yeah.
Are there more?
There's a couple more if anyone wants them. I will say that it is much, much, much better
Oh yeah.
than the Pepsi Peep.
All right,
Absolutely.
Now that I mentioned who eats Cocoa Puffs? Anybody?
I'm gonna now. Like I have in the
Now
past.
that I would say now that you mentioned, I'm like, man, I should go to the grocery store and get some cereal.
But you're right. It does have a little bit of that like stale.
That's what the white
flavor.
stuff reminded me of. Do you remember like those cereal bars?
Yes.
That's what it
Yeah.
reminded me
Like the
I don't either.
Honey Nut Cheerio bars.
Yeah,
they
or
had
like
like
the Cinnamon
milk
Toast Crunch.
icing.
Yeah, and then the middle, it was like 2 layers of the cereal, whatever cereal, and then it had like a middle layer of like milk.
You know what it tastes like?
Maybe you guys don't realize I live in a healthy house.
Or
Sorry.
My wife doesn't let us get those things.
or is it Count Chocula
I was
because it's got the
thinking,
marshmallows?
Do you know what it is? Reese's Puffs.
You think so? Do they have a marshmallow?
I've never had those.
I feel like they've got that like
No,
dusting on the
I like
outside.
Oh,
the
sure.
Count Chocula.
I've never had those.
Count Chocula.
Count Chocula?
Yeah.
A little bit. Like the marshmallow, you know?
Yeah, like the marshmallows that's been floating in the chocolatey flavored
milk.
Yeah, not chocolate
I
milk.
think so. I think so.
In my book, Reese's
Interesting.
can do no wrong.
I was like, you could make anything into a Reese's and then probably eat it.
Have you noticed in the last, I don't know how long it's been, but it seems to me like at least in the last 10 years, Reese's has just exploded with everything under the sun. Like
That's
I'm waiting
no,
for
that's
it.
probably
They come out
been
with everything.
That's probably been in the last decade, I would say.
I feel like they've
In the last
expanded their
decade?
holiday
not the
shapes.
last 10 years.
I was like, is that no? I was so confused.
I didn't even hear it. And then you pointed it out, and I'm like, oh, that's
I got it. And I was like, that was just.
No, I think you're right. I think it's been the last
Gaslighting.
decade.
Yeah.
give or take 10 years, you know?
Okay, I need an explanation of that because I have a daughter who tells me that I gaslight all the time, and I don't think it means what she thinks it means. So what does it mean to gaslight?
I think the actual definition is to convince somebody
That something didn't happen.
or that they were wrong about something that they are absolutely factually correct about.
I'll look it up.
So it would be like if I came over and like grabbed your Diet Coke.
Instead it was a
And you-
Diet Pepsi.
Or
No,
like,
like you-
if
if
you were
she-
like, that was my Diet Coke, be like, no, this is mine. It's been mine the entire time. What are you talking about?
Okay.
Oh.
Gaslighting is a form of psychological manipulation in which the abuser attempts to sow self-doubt and confusion in their victim's mind. I gaslit you.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's why she used it.
After
Dana
100
used
and
it
so
correctly.
It's like, that's the same thing. It's not.
Well, I don't think I've been gaslighting my daughter.
Probably not.
Why did the chicken go to the gym?
Why?
I don't know why.
To work on his pecs.
That's so stupid.
All right, does somebody have a question?
Okay, I do.
Hey-yo.
I'm
You
moving
are
on to my
correct.
question. This is the Sarah episode.
Sorry, Sarah.
No, it's okay. So I saw a movie a couple weekends back, and I've never left a movie so empowered.
Okay, hold on that just real quickly. Thank you, TOG, for this.
Yes,
yes,
thank you.
Did we just all agree that they were good?
Oh yeah,
they're
the
good.
Reese's, delicious.
They're good.
Just making sure.
I would say thumbs up.
Yeah, me too. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So I went to this movie, and I've never left a movie so just empowered in my faith from like a random left field movie.
Really?
I went with my boyfriend, and it's called The Pope's Exorcist.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you went and saw the Super Mario Brothers movie. But
No, even better, Pope's Exorcist.
the Pope's
That
Exorcist.
sounds like a no. for
And I
me.
was convinced that it was going to be terrifying. Like I'm not a scary movie person. I'm watching the previews, eyes covered through the fingers.
Well, is this being sold as a
Yeah, being sold as a scary movie.
Well, it's based on a real person.
Yep, it's based on the man
Never.
who is like the head of
the Exorcist
exorcism
Society in the world.
in the Vatican
in
too.
the
Like he was
like as a part of okay.
He was the Pope's exorcist, right?
yes.
Never heard of this in my life. Continue.
I didn't know that was a thing, but
Super cool story though. And in this, they just like really slyly peppered in some things. And being somebody who does this podcast and talks about all these random questions, I was like, that's so cool.
Wait a minute, you're doing a podcast called This Podcast?
Sorry guys, I'm cheating on you. Dana and I have the side thing.
yeah.
This podcast.
And then we just it comes out
Yep.
right after this one, and
sounds
and we-
like
it's
an
like
L
commentary on
podcast
this.
if I ever heard one.
man.
us talking.
But some of the things that they talked about in it were like, there are places in this world that like the name of God is not welcome and you will actually be like attacked by supernatural forces, things like that. I'm like, yeah, that's true. Or like the devil is trying to avoid going to hell. And that's like, was in the first like 10 minutes. I'm like, oh, this could be pretty good. And then the thing that I loved the most that they brought up is even like these priests were talking about one, that they have sinned, and that they have sins that they continually need to be getting forgiveness on because they have the doubt. And, you know, it's not that you hear it once and you move on from it.
Yeah, right.
So my question for you all, this is a more personal podcast, is have you ever like had that situation or that like, I never thought that I would leave this or experience this and be like, man, I'm really empowered in my faith. Or like, I think people are going to be seeing this and like, it's going to awaken this new, like,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah. You know, I will share a total secular movie that I don't think anyone would think of it this way, but I saw it when I was in seminary, right? And I was impressed with the movie. It's got Keanu Reeves in it and Al Pacino, so you know it's good right there. But it's called The Devil's Advocate, and it's not religious by any means. The most religious person really is a holy roller. But the cool thing about it is that it's faith that ultimately unravels the devil's whole plan. But he gets right to the edge of you know, getting what he wants. And I just found that so interesting. That the devil's going to work through the rules and the law and those type of things. That's a very Lutheran thing to say. And because the law convicts us of our sin, and the devil knows how to work, how to poke our buttons. I came out of that one going, okay, it's almost like you could see the curves on the stitches on the curveball of the evil one, at least for me. So you know, not as openly Christian, obviously, or like the Pope's exorcist. So.
I was just really like, I left it up like, man, I'm gonna make sure this is played like at a family movie night. Like this needs to be more places.
Well, I wouldn't play the devil's advocate at a family movie night.
That
No, I don't think that
wouldn't-
one could be allowed.
I do feel that way about The Chosen. If you haven't seen The Chosen, I mean, if you're someone who's seen like Jesus movies, and there's almost like this sense of like the old Jesus movies.
Lame.
Yeah, but we gotta watch it. It's Easter. Greatest story ever. You watch The Chosen and you'll want to watch it again. Like it's that good. It really is that good. So yeah, Devil's Advocate and The Chosen.
You got
Either of you two had that?
I don't think I do.
And maybe not like a movie, just like something you've experienced where you're like, huh, that was out of left field for.
How about the VeggieTales remix? Have you heard that song?
No.
VeggieTales.
No, it's not VeggieTales singing. It's my daughter Addie brought it to me.
Oh yeah, we played that on the mission trip.
Yeah, it made me so happy that I'm like, oh, good. At least she's getting some Jesus songs in her mix, because she likes all kinds of stuff that I'm like, I'm old man now. I'm like, that's not music.
For me, it's mission trips in general, and that was a total like, I don't know what I'm going on this for. This is gonna really suck bad. That was in 2015, and that was a total like, everybody should be going on one of these. But as far as movies go, if you've never seen Gran Torino,
Oh yeah.
that one is fantastic and tells a story of redemption.
With the Hmong population.
Right. Yep.
Is it based out of like St. Paul, Minnesota? Is it supposed to be in Minnesota?
I don't remember
Or California?
I don't remember where it's based at. I just remember that I was like, holy cow, that was really good.
Yeah.
So
This is Do you think that if anyone other than Clint Eastwood had done that, it would be as good? And do you think if anyone other than Russell Crowe had been the lead in that movie, it would be as good?
I think yes, because
Like the content itself.
and there was no other big name actors in it. And there were a couple scenes like Russell Crowe's a very large guy and he's this little like priest that rides a Vespa around places.
Right,
So he's
right.
like this huge dude on a really little moped going down the street and it's hilarious.
I think there. Could anybody else have done it? Yeah, probably. I don't know who, but I think there are movies where no one else will ever be able to play that character again. I don't know if that was one of them with Gran Torino, but like Doc Holliday in Tombstone.
Yes.
Val Kilmer ruined that
for anybody else.
all
How many times
eternity.
are we going to bring that up?
Well, it's just
Okay.
it's a historical fact. It's a historical
This
fact.
is the hill
Dana.
Ryan dies on.
Yep. So, but Gran Torino was good. And if you haven't been on a mission trip, go on one. And if you can't go on one but want to support people who are, they're going on mission trips this summer and lots of them. So inquire. How was that for a plug?
That was cool.
That was
Yeah,
nice.
good
Very
job.
nice.
Yeah. All right.
Who else?
But yeah,
Anyone
I
I
else?
was trying
That's
to
my
think if I
question.
had anything like that, or even just like books that I read, and I've had like little moments like that of random,
Like
but not like
weird
a whole,
enlightenment.
Yeah, but not like a
places.
whole book where I like finished the book, but I'd like be reading a section and being like, huh. Was that intentional? Did you mean to do that, or was that just like me?
Yeah, like why do I relate to that
Yeah.
so much?
And like the most random, because I read weird fantasy books, and I'm like, did you mean to just throw a little bit of Jesus in with your like Fey lords over there? Like,
There are some things that I've read that are like, or not read necessarily, but I'll see a lot of YouTube videos where I'm like, man, I would just love to share that with everybody. Like, I don't remember where I saw it, but where it talks about the Bible was written over 1,500 years, longer than that. I'm asking a question now.
So you mean all of the books within the Bible?
Yeah,
Yeah.
all of the books. So you got. I watched a great video where they talked about how these books were written by people who never met one another, never had phones to call back and forth, or Google Docs to work on this together and make sure that the theme was right all the way through.
Right.
They weren't chat GPTing this.
Right, and you've got Star Wars has been going on for 45 years and they can't keep it straight.
That's right. That's right.
So
I'm good. And then we slid the other one in, just
Yep.
hitting all.
So I don't know if I've brought this up before, but just working on the messages for this new sermon series, right? That we're talking about. It's "Won't You Be My Neighbor?" It's definitely Mr. Rogers themed. And
yeah, if you haven't seen the stage,
yeah, we just need a trolley. That's and King Friday.
Oh yeah,
But
get some creepy puppets.
But I don't know if this ever hits you guys sometimes, but I'll be watching TV and even things that are supposed to be really like upbeat. It seems like it's trying to cope in a hopeless world. And this thought just runs through me like, these people need Jesus. They need a little bit of Jesus in the show. That would fix everything. Just a little bit, not a lot, just a little bit of Jesus for a little bit of perspective. And suddenly things will make a whole lot more sense.
Yeah.
And in reading scripture about, love your neighbor and what that means, I don't know if there's much of that anymore. I mean, everyone who knew, like every adult knew who Mr. Rogers was, I would think, if they spent 5 minutes, that he was very clear in public broadcasting that he was about teaching love for neighbor and love for yourself. And that it came from a Christian perspective.
Yeah. You'd be surprised how many.
The stuff he talked about was dark.
Yeah.
Like-
oh yeah. But you would be surprised how many people, how many kids, like I know a lot of times we're like, well, we're the only ones who understand that, or like our age and older or whatever. But Jarl was in the fireside room on Sunday and was we were talking about it, and somebody said, well, yeah, I suppose the younger people, they won't really know who Mr. Rogers is. And one of the kids was in there, and he was on his phone doing his thing, and somebody said, "Hey, do you know who Mr. Rogers is?" And he looked at that person like, "Are you weird?" Of course I know who Mr. Rogers is.
Well, and I watched a clip of him getting a lifetime achievement reward at like the Oscars or the Emmys or something, and he was just being him. And you watch the people looking at him, and these are big time actors and actresses, and tears as he just talks about, I want you to take a moment and just remember the people that would see where you are today and would be just so delighted. And maybe they're not with us anymore, but they were with, and I mean, big time actresses and actors, like tears running down their cheeks. And it's like, there in Hollywood, in the place that God is often left out of the story altogether, someone comes and just speaks a word for that, and it has such a physical impact on them. I'm like, that's to me what's missing more than anything in media today is hope and the reality of God. And I'm even shocked, like watching old shows like from the 80s, and I saw a TV show, they started saying the Lord's Prayer, and I was like, can they even show this on TV?
Can you do that?
Yeah, who were playing the game show, I whipped my head back and forth like I couldn't believe it. So,
what was the show where they prayed at the end of every episode? I think was on ABC.
Seventh Heaven.
Was it
That's where I went.
No, I don't think so. I think it.
That podcast?
Yeah, well, they do on the end of almost everyone, unless they have to cut them funny and don't get it in there.
In which case, you get the one person that won't do that.
When was the show on TV? Like,
gosh, it was like the 90s, early to mid, maybe. They would pray at the end of every episode, and then I remember for a while it was they were getting heat that they should quit. Hang on, I'll talk amongst yourselves.
It wasn't like Extreme Makeover Home Edition or something like that, was it?
No.
That was a really upbeat show.
Cool though, like with these things, like,
there's a hunger for it.
Well, yeah, and God's putting these things in places and these people out there, the Mr. Rogers and stuff of, there might not be people who want to fully hear and fully embrace the Bible and the message of God, but those themes that run throughout, there are those people that are really good at peppering it in and kind of getting people comfortable and kind of stair-stepping them and putting the people who need to hear it where they're at.
I think we really are in a place in our culture now where loving your neighbor and loving your enemies, the way the Bible calls us to, is incredibly countercultural, and is radical. So we're all the radicals and the misfits now if you follow Jesus.
Yeah. And I was way off. It wasn't on ABC, nor was it on in the 90s. It was Duck Dynasty.
Oh.
Here I am thinking it's going to be some, like, I'm thinking The Nanny.
Ryan, was that on in the last 10 years or the last decade?
I'd have to check.
Uncle Si.
No,
you had me, then you lost me.
That's so great.
That was a great show.
I knew the minute he put his phone down, and there was just that look on his face that was going to be great.
I was living in the South when that show was everywhere.
Yeah.
And I had guys in my church that were those guys, and they would grow the beards out and just. Oh, they were living
so
in there. Oh yeah, I mean,
they were like, yeah, it's my time.
Like, exactly. Yep. It's our time now. It's our time to shine. Yeah, totally.
I was going to shave a mustache in, but it was forbidden at home. So that's why I'm rocking a goatee right now.
I have a friend who still religiously wears her Uncle Si
mustache
slippers from Walmart.
Oh, is that right?
Yep.
Huh.
It's little Uncle Si's on the front of them. Camel on the
Good
rest.
times.
Uncle Si.
That was great.
Can we just talk about how at some point Duck Dynasty and the Kardashians were airing at the same time?
Yes.
They were.
That was...
What a mix.
Did you know?
What a time. What a time to be alive.
Did you know that 1998 was the last year when every human was on the earth at the same time?
Are you talking about space missions?
Like there was no
There's
one
always
on
been
the
someone
space station?
Mm-hmm.
in the International Space Station? That's what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
1998 was the last year.
That was a hard question, Ryan. I really had to think hard on that one as to like, okay,
Where's the joke?
What does he mean?
I was like, this is going to be a weird thing. And I was like, where could they go? And I was like, oh, does he mean space?
I was like, is that when Flash Gordon was taken into space by Ming?
We talked.
At least you guys were on space. I was thinking Whitney Houston, I am every woman. I don't know how this is gonna fit.
Well, and hey, talking about faith and hope, there's someone who's been just shining faith and hope within entertainment for the last 60 years.
Alice Cooper.
Well,
Oh,
I
Willie Nelson.
was gonna say Miss Dolly Parton.
Yes, she is. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love how
Talk
we just
about-
hit like 3 different
But I
names.
love that you said Alice Cooper.
I've been watching the Pastor Becky shared the video
Yes.
of him.
I was
and
going
that's
to say, did
such
you
a
see
good
Becky's video too? Is that why we got
Yeah.
to Alice Cooper?
I love it.
Somebody else
I had to
though.
play some Alice Cooper for Dylan in the car after we saw that. So I'm like, hear
To
this
really
guy?
put it in perspective.
Yeah, I'm like, hear this
Here,
guy?
understand.
He sounds scary, but he's a Christian. Listen to this guy. This is good stuff.
My friend went on the Dolly Parton diet. His name is Joe. Mm-hmm. It made Jolene and Jolene. The Dolly Parton diet.
There you go, Ryan. There you go.
Well,
You brought it up.
actually,
That's
DJ
good.
brought
DJ
it
did.
up.
Oh yeah.
I appreciate it.
Another
Keep
Mr.
him coming.
Rogers though type character of like or person of
Yeah.
sharing the
like-
message and love of Jesus where people might not fully realize that
Yep.
that's what they're getting, but that's
right.
That's what they're getting.
That's right. I speaking of Alice Cooper, I saw this interview where he was asked about Marilyn Manson because they were known to be friends, and he said, "Oh, Marilyn, he's just a little pussy cat." He and I may disagree theologically. For those of you who don't know, Marilyn Manson is an avowed Satanist.
Yeah. We might disagree.
we may
theologically.
disagree
A little bit.
theologically, but I'll just come over. I'll just pet his head and just be like,
You're there, my friend.
You're a good boy, Marilyn. You're a good boy."
Yeah. Kind of goofy.
But you know,
we all?
talk about what would Jesus want you to do. There you go, Alice
Right.
Cooper.
Yeah. Pet Marilyn Manson's head.
Hey,
Just calm down, Marilyn. Everything's fine.
however
Everything's
you need
fine.
to love your neighbor.
Yeah, whatever it takes.
All right.
We may disagree theologically was my favorite line.
Oh, that's good times. All right.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Can I pray?
Yes,
Absolutely.
please.
Gracious God, I thank you for my friends, those who are in the conversation right now, and for those who are listening in. Let them know that we are thinking of them and praying for them, and hope, Lord, that all who get to be a part of our time together, that they would be blessed by your promises, your word, and know that even in day-to-day experiences, sometimes the world can seem very hopeless, can seem very scary. You are there. You are there in the midst of it. You say, "I am with you always," and we can rest in that. That we're never alone. That you are with us, and that means that things aren't as scary as they can seem. So, bless everyone who can hear this. May they know the love of God. May they be filled with hope and peace and faith in Jesus Christ. All of this we ask in His name. Amen.
Amen. All right. Hey, we'd love to have you join us for worship either in the building or online every Sunday at 9 and at 10:30. If you want to come into the building, we're at 4601 South University Drive in Fargo, North Dakota. If you need the zip, that's 58104. Also, you can go online to the YouTubes. You can go to atonement.live or atonementfargo.org. Again, 9 o'clock for traditions, 10:30 for a modern service. So for Pastor DJ Laura, Dana Mashevsky, and Sarah DeYoung, my name is Ryan Janke. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on another riveting episode of that podcast.
I was thinking you needed a lozenge, something.
Just like the end of Moulin Rouge.